Yeah. Had lunch, mince with onions and a bit of garlic. Could do with a bit of ginger. I had a bit of mayonnaise with it, nothing special. But like, one of the things I remembered walking back from town was that as I was taking a shortcut through the youth centre, there was a big show to show me that they could train flies. Like, but I remember when that used to really be, it seemed like a big deal to me, it was sort of conditioned, as with looking at people pushing prams and that on display, and so on, and displays, adverts for the British car industry, and as well, the family that was following me around Tesco's. I mean, I can't go to anyone and saying, I can't go to psychiatric services and say, there was this crazy guy and his family following me around Tesco's trying to advertise his family. Anyway, now, but on a serious note, this pointing at things that are going on in the environment will last some time. I sort of did it on the ward, but as and one of the reasons is, in the absence of TV, though I'd go to a lot, and other media, like films or whatever, that I don't watch anymore. It's it's sort of replacement for that. Maybe it's partly to do with the fact that I'm guessing that the total institution, the ad agency, sort of thought when I said I wouldn't be watching, I probably wouldn't watch telly again. It served its purpose. I'm not particularly, I don't think it's the type of medium for me ultimately. And it would sort of be a backward step to start watching all that stuff again. Not least witnessing all the dramas that go on. I'll go downtown for a coffee and to pick up some groceries on the walk back. Like mentioning this stuff, it's sort of rejigging, refashioning my relationship towards it all in a way that I think needs to take place. Some people may not like it. Some people may define it. The advertising agency, the total institution may define it in certain ways. Whatever ways they want to try and define it. But to me, it's like renegotiating. Because, like I said about in that video about my day in Worcester City Centre, when you look around you, and so much of it is propaganda and amateur dramatics and so on and so forth, and basically adverts for all manner of things, to the point where you go to get your groceries and this fella with his kid and his missus follows you around Tesco's to the point where you feel like saying to someone, can I have my groceries, please? Anyway, that's the way it is. But yeah, it's sort of reacquainting myself with my environment in a way that's more realistic. Now, I've tried different methods in the past with different people. It's never been long term, has it? Really, I'm looking for something in short, medium, long term that actually works. And doing this, so what I did on the ward, but again, the people there were put up to saying things like "no worries, no problem" on repeat. For example, suggesting that they were being put off by the ad agency and the total institution just keep on with that stuff and see, and for whatever purpose. But yeah, and it's a worthwhile approach. It really is. Now, the advertising agency, the total institution, may try to get all heavy-handed. I am on just about every coercive measure that someone can be on within the psychiatric system, and they may try to get heavy-handed with that. But I could just say to them, even though I couldn't, because that's the way the communication works with these people. Well, you tell me, what's better, my approach or your approach, where you pull all these stunts, you and whoever else, pull all these stunts, and then sit back and say, we're the ones trying to help you. Which is a bit of a contradiction to me. But anyway, but like I said, a realistic approach, a realistic adaptation. It's not a coping strategy. This stuff's easy to deal with. I suppose drugging's then, but then you could drug anyone up for any purpose you wanted, I suppose. Which may have been the case with trying to get me to take notice of the fact that they were piping through music and generating a hubbub with a few people down the coffee shop to try and engineer something that just isn't really realistic, is it? And wouldn't really have the legs on it to get very far. Again, they may have positioned themselves as thinking that, oh no, we ain't having it like that. We're having it like that. We invest a lot in running around and bringing arguments to him that he's just not interested in. So I suppose if I'm not interested in these arguments, I'm not interested in South Asians running all over the town, or bizarre families following me around Tesco's, trying to turn up for some big deal drama. I don't know. But I do know that that's really long-term no way to live. And basically what I'm doing at the moment is no long-term way to live. I will be talking like I do here and when I go out and about for a while. But it's not permanent. It will need to, it will dissipate eventually. As I get more and more into reading, and it's this. It seems to be that there are these demands politically, in terms of the media, in terms of the hubbub that's been generated, to just keep their ball rolling with this type of stuff. But to me, it's like, it's to make the mistake of adopting subject positions that wouldn't last 2 minutes, realistically, is just that's not an option. I want something that's long term gonna work, and that is, like I referred to in my last video, sort of getting back to some sense of who I really am after 25 years and so on. Of being conditioned and so on and so forth, and getting on with it. And like I said, it's I had my meal. There were druggings during it, during having it. That's the way it goes. But now I can get back to really appreciating just what a great morning it was in town. Linking that in. Training insects, and then running around saying you're killing them, and it's just like, no, that's no way to live. Because what it sort of does, what I'm doing here, is it nullifies this environment. It's sort of, for me and for other people to actually hear how I'm doing it, might benefit quite a lot of people actually, but it's sort of demonstrates, like for people who come out with harebrained notions, like you're killing them, whoever them is, like I said, this week or whenever, which is sort of an echo of my early involvement with psychiatrists, where they'd say, "Did you want to kill her?" and stuff like that. How hyped up people can become and how misguided people can become. But yeah, this is, and I've got a lot of knowledge and experience of this scenario. This is the way to approach it. You don't go, because like, if I was to, you don't start kicking off. You don't start going hysterical or whatever. You sort of put it in your place, have a bit of a laugh about it, and then get on with stuff. Don't you? But this incessant these incessant attempts to frame me in certain ways, to characterise me in certain ways, and the ways that I think and approach things seems pretty desperate. Or is it? I don't know. I can only guess. But, it don't work, does it? Like I said, if I'm going to a coffee shop for a coffee, and I'm being drugged up because I'm not really paying much attention to the music or the engineered hubbub that's being piped through there, I'm being engineered just to bring that about, then that suggests that there's people out there who think my life has got to revolve around them. That's just not realistic. And whether I have anything to do with anyone ever again, I don't know. It may be taken out of my hands, I don't know, by people who I'd argue, and if they ever get into that state, they shouldn't really be making those decisions. But, they're the ones with the power. I'm not sure. If it's yet again going to be yet more, whoever because like judging from just having a coffee this morning, and judging from the druggings and so on and so forth, I think my approach that I sort of said no to the local psychiatric officials the other day. Do it in text, take the pace down a bit and so on, was a worthwhile approach. And the proof of the pudding, as I keep saying, is in the eating, as you can judge from today. But yeah, I think the takeaway from this video is that there is a strategy involved here. When, like I say, calling these things out and like sort of in a way debunking the dominant hegemony, the cultural hegemony, and all the rest of it, that sort of thing. In my mind and out there, so at least there's people beyond the drama. I can see, well, actually, maybe something else is going on here than what we're being told by the ad agency, the total institution. Then maybe the total institution may sit back and think, hang on a sec, but you never know. But, a bit more optimistic, this video, isn't it? So that's about that for now.